defense through 3 games has actually played a lot better than what anybody possibly believed, especially the second half today. Right? You shut down a very powerful offense to 0 points in an entire half of football after giving up, 20 in the first half. And it's just one of those things where when you have a defense that you're worried about at the beginning of the year that gets off the field and gives you 6 to 7 to 8 opportunities in a half with possessions, you've got to be able to score on at least 50% of those possessions. Like whether it's 3, whether it's 6, it doesn't matter. You've got to find ways to put points on the board. If you can't do that, then you're in a situation where you're in, right? You allowed 20 points in the first half. You allowed 0 points in the second half. Offensively, you got 13 points in the first half and didn't even sniff the red zone in the second half. That can't happen. Not with six plus possessions in a half. You've got to find a way to get the ball in the end zone, and that starts with play calling all the way to the execution from the players. Everybody's at fault on the offensive side of the ball today. It's just that point where we've talked about it this entire show in the post game. The consistency of the offense has to continuously show up. We saw it in the first half, week 1. We saw it in the first half and part of the second half in week 2, especially to start the second half. This week, we saw it the first drive. I mean, it looked just like we saw the first couple weeks thinking, hey, we're back. We're going to do this again. And then it just went non-existent. The worry part for me is I think the play calling switches after we have a lot of success early. I think it turns into – I'm not an offensive coordinator, honestly. I actually called my first 11U tackle football game yesterday as offensive coordinator. We won, but that neither here nor there. It's to the point where I feel like we stop stepping on throats when we feel like we're doing well. We try to start managing a game instead of taking over a game. And last week, I think in the first half, we did a great job of taking over the game, coming out after halftime and getting points immediately on that first drive. You took over that game. You gave the Rams 0 sense of hope coming out of halftime. Right? They were getting blown out in the first half. But when you came out of halftime and literally stepped on their throat and said, hey, it doesn't matter what you do today. There's no way you're even coming close to winning this game. We did not do that in the second half, week 1. We didn't do that outside of the first drive of the game today. And I think that's the difference in it.
Well, Bo, I'll pose that question to you. I think a lot of people, after his dominant performance and play calling last week, a lot of questions now fall on Drew Petzing. And again, Kyler Murray was inaccurate. The receivers could do better. They could hang on to some passes. Trey, Marvin, and Greg Dortz all dropped passes. But your assessment of the second-year play caller who, again, it's a week-to-week roller coaster ride with Drew Petzing, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I think it was heavily a product of no balance. I mean, you just didn't have anything in the run game. Like, I hadn't seen James Conner shut down this bad since joining the Arizona Cardinals. They just didn't have anything. Like, they didn't have to account for, James Conner. Like, his longest run today was 7 yards. And it was late in the third quarter. It was right before the pick, and they were moving the ball. I think once you become undimensional or one-dimensional, your ability to become like this innovative play caller and really kind of move the football with ease, it goes out the window. Like it comes down to guys having to make plays and execution. Like when teams can gear up and try to take away the pass, especially on the perimeter, like it's going to be tough to move the football. And we saw that. And like also credit to the Lions in as far as their special teams. I mean, 4 times they were penning the Arizona Cardinals deep in their own territory. They had no room, really no room to maneuver out of there. Not to say that's where it comes down to guys making plays. Like, I don't know if you can really truly judge this and throw this on the shoulders of Drew Petzing's, play calling. But it's fun. You want to be able to find a way out of this, and he didn't today. But I'm not going to say, hey, like, so far his 24 resume is overall negative. Like, I still think that this offense has the ability to do a lot of good things. And, the opponent, we talk about the physicality on defense. They won that. They give credit to the Lions.
We all silly like the mayor.